Hello, hello, and welcome to Creation Watch, where we explore other ideas of how this world came into being and why they're probably wrong. So, thank you for joining us tonight. And of course, to my Live from the Hive audience, thank you for sticking with me as we move into the the next segment of the show. If you want to catch these segments live, we do this live from the Hive every Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. And you can always catch them on Wednesday night for Creation Watch. That's right up there, Creation Watch. And then on Friday nights, we have our big CryptoCorner premiere. So please feel free to join either if you're interested in the topics that we cover here. Today on Creation Watch, we are not necessarily, I shouldn't say we're steering away from young Earth creationism, because I believe that that flat earthers are, for the most part, young Earth creationists as well, and biblical literalist to boot. So that is what we're going to be looking at today. Now, I haven't covered flat Earth in a long, long time on this segment. I don't think I've covered flat Earth since I first stopped focusing only on the CONSERVAPEDIA articles. I don't think that I did, but we're going to cover them today. We're going to pick up right where we left off, and this channel is called CelebrateTruth. So let's see what kind of truth is coming out of CelebrateTruth today on Creation Watch. All right, here we are. This is their video platform where they have ads all the way around the frame. I don't know. Do you guys like this format where they have all the different I think subscriber information down here and all this Patreon? Ooh, recognize that image from my old Creation Watch intro. Yeah. Anyway, let's dive in and hear what they have to say. I didn't pick a random spot. I did pick a spot where there's some subject matter covered that God's seed. That's what we're here for. I am a masochist for bad science. I will seek it out and make myself watch it. So we're here for the long haul, kids. Let's do it.
We will restore science to its rightful place and wield technology's wonders.
Ignorant just simply means you don't know. But if you don't know and you have the power of influence over others, that's dangerous. If you don't know and you don't know that you don't know, that's particularly dangerous.
I think we're talking mostly about the headlines here. So let me back it up. I'm not going to try to back this up. If you look down here, this video is almost 9 hours long. So I mean, we could go endlessly. I have already picked out the place where I'm going to start and stop on this, just to give you an idea of what kind of content these channels are putting out. This will just be, there's a lot of little headline clips and stuff here. Only science can save us from the climate catastrophe. With increasing population, so we're talking about climate change, okay? I'm with you so far. Science is the answer for climate change.
There is no debate. Climate change is a fact.
Now, as for getting your morals from
Correct.
the Bible, I very sincerely hope nobody does.
Right now,
That's a viable position to take, that no one would want to take their morals from the Bible. You're talking about stoning to death, or not stoning to death, but stoning unruly children, and the punishments for a lot of the crimes in the Bible are pretty cringy. The marriage in the Bible is absolutely disgusting. So I hope you aren't morally, especially the marriage stuff and how women are property and things like that. I hope you aren't living your life by that. That's gross.
can fly.
Oh shoot! I need to go get a drink because Bugbot's telling me to hydrate. I only have my coffee here, so I'm gonna go grab a bottle of water. Enjoy for just a moment.
Earth orbit, that's the farthest that we can go, and this new system that we're building is going to allow us to go beyond and hopefully take humans into the solar system.
That Jesus is the Son of God who is redeeming humanity from original sin. The idea that we are born in sin And the only way we can be redeemed from sin is through the death of Jesus. I mean, that's a horrible idea. Megalomaniacal, sadomasochistic, capriciously malevolent bully.
How is that wrong? It is a horrible idea. So you convince people. Somebody was saying, who was it? Shannon Q was saying on a video I watched, I think it was last night, that Christianity kind of commodifies love, right? It tells you that you're unworthy of love from the start, but it can sell love back to you for your participation in their religious movement. Okay, so selling love back to you is, can we say it's problematic? And then before that, we had the thing about the low Earth orbit, but that's been thoroughly debunked. But let's go on.
So that's what you think of God?
Yeah.
How about the recent push to implement intelligent design in school curricula?
It's very bad. It's very.
Bill Nye, by the way, is just the epitome of evil to these people. It's funny.
Dangerous.
You don't mess with the truth.
Absolutely narcissists. Narcissists do commodify love. Who's asking for Bjorn? Sorry, you missed the Squatch. We just finished the Squatch. You can go back about an hour if you want to catch the Squatch stuff. We covered it pretty thoroughly. We're on to Creation Watch, looking at some flat Earth from the creator of The Global Lie. So their content is advertisements for other content, that's advertisement for other contents, that's advertisement for other content.
You can see an agenda.
Now, one
Scientism.
thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go.
Closed system as far as viability to support human life, maybe. I think that was Bill Nye talking. I'd have to know the context to that, because as far as energy conservation goes, like the second law of thermodynamics, the Earth's not a closed system because we do get energy from the sun, which is outside of our system. I don't know what the context that he was talking about, though. Sounded like I was talking about a system of survival, a system that we could survive in. Let me see what we got going on out here. Gotta love how he asserts science is anti-Christian without actually saying it. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of this. Yeah, let's get past this. Sorry, it's so long that it's hard to... Oh, well, it's over anyway. He got to add, and you can use that to subscribe to my channel. If you're not subscribed, subscribe below. We're really close to 1K. I really want to get there. Come on, guys. Make it happen. Make me a happy girl. It's funny, they got a globe right there. And then, boom, turns into the flat Earth. We're going to get some Bible verses, though. This is the best part. Richard, are you still with us? Because there's some Bible verses that you might like to address. Do you really believe you live on a ball spinning over 1,000 miles per hour? That's the thing, too. It's the speed of rotation based around the size of the object spinning, right? How it's going to feel. But we have evolved on this spinning ball, so we're evolved. Our inner ear is evolved to not detect the rotation of the Earth or the orbit of the Earth or any of that. Your inner ear can't detect that because your inner ear is honed to the center of the Earth. So you don't feel the rotation, you don't feel the spin or any of that. Now, other mammals have a more developed inner ear, where, like, sea lions, for instance, don't have a... they can actually spin and twist all around. Every direction can be down to them. It's really cool how their inner ear is compounded, I guess, how it has developed. but they can flip and spin and adjust their perception of gravity. It's really cool, but we can't. We're tree monk. We evolved from arboreal ancestors. It's very important to us to be very, very aware of down, because we need that, or we needed that in our evolutionary past in order to know which direction was going to hurt the most. I wouldn't believe you. I would think that you were being misled by some pseudoscience. That's what I would think, because I understand the science that, again, like I just explained about why you don't feel the rotation of the Earth. It's because you're a tree monkey. A tree monkey needs to feel the pull of gravity downward, and yeah, that's the only thing that we need, really. Whereas like a aquatic organisms that lives in a 3D environment doesn't have those restrictions. Pretty simple stuff. That's why you don't feel the rotation of the Earth. Now, do birds feel the rotation of the Earth? I think that there's some evidence that at least a few species do. So it's not being able to, or not being able to is not necessarily, not necessarily, sorry, I was reading some comments here. I always say stand in one spot and spin once a day and tell me how fast it is. Yeah, right? How do you determine that? Yeah, anyway. Yep, I sure did. I searched for the truth. I looked at the what the physicist and cosmologist and all the astronomical research and all that. I've stuck my nose in it. Celebrate Truth presents.
We have been told that approximately 13.8 billion years ago, the universe was in a very high state of density, then suddenly expanded in a giant explosion.
Wrong. No, there was no explosion. That's well, it depends on what you mean by explosion. On the time scale of the universe, it would have been an explosion, but humans wouldn't even, like, if we had been around back then, we wouldn't even have noticed it was happening. It wouldn't have been, it would have been, to us it would have appeared like a slow expansion. You could watch a slow motion of a bomb going off, right? And if you put that at like 0.0000000, like I don't know, 0 to the 10th power or something, 9. That would be how fast this explosion, not just boom, it's an explosion. It's an expansion of it. And it's not necessarily even, there's no claim that this is the beginning of the universe either. This is the farthest back that we can look at the universe. And it goes back, the singularity, to be frank, is not even really a portion of the Big Bang model. The Big Bang model just says it's expanding, right? It just says it's expanding. The singularity is the mathematical probability when everything goes back, or not probability. What's the word I'm looking for? The mathematical conclusion of where our math breaks down, moving everything back to the center point. That's the singularity. But that doesn't indicate that that was the beginning of anything. Just that's, or I shouldn't say that's the beginning of anything. It's the beginning of this expansion, but nothing more. That what was temporally before that, potentially. What's up, Jason? Singularity. Does everybody know what the singularity is? It literally is just a point where the mathematics break down on tracing back the origin of the current state of the expanding universe. But whether there was a state before that, our models can't tell, and how long, whether there was a temporal state before that, we can't tell. So generally with the B theory of time, you want to attach. I talked with Ryan and Granny about this a couple weeks back. How many weeks? It's been a few weeks ago, hasn't it, Ryan? Anyway, that time is tethered to the expansion of the universe. So time is an emergent property of the expansion. Then the idea of before that would be nonsensical. But let's...
referred to as the Big Bang. After everything cooled, subatomic particles formed, which led to the creation of simple atoms. Large clouds of these primordial elements eventually coalesced through gravity to form galaxies and stars. Space!
I don't know. So far, that's basically it.
Solar system! Skip ahead a little.
Aww.
We're told that life first
I was getting into that.
appeared in the sea 4 billion years ago in the form of a single-celled organism.
That's one bio-hypothesis. There are a few. The new kid on the block, I guess, the new, I shouldn't say it's new, but the hypothesis that's gaining some footing for origin of life requires this wet-dry cycle. So it may not have been in the sea. It may have been in like tide pools or natural springs, where things can ebb and flow, where it dries out. It's just a new leading theory on that. It's not to discourage the hydrothermal vent origin hypothesis at all, and that doesn't in any way deviate from the reality that the most basal deviations of organismal life are found in the area of thermal vents. So our furthest relatives on the tree of life are the ones that live at the hydrothermal vents. So at some point there was an ancestor that we shared in common with them that had those types of features. I knew this video was going to be great. It's let me just go on tangents about all kinds of science. I love flat earthers. They let me talk about all kinds of crazy stuff that I wouldn't get to bring up otherwise.
Which later grew into multicellular organisms. After these began multiplying, a great mass extinction event 440 million years ago randomly killed off nearly every living thing on the planet. After more stuff started...
So... I think that was the... What extinction event were we talking about there? Which one? Was that the Silurian? Or... Anyway, yeah, it was at the end of the Cambrian. Okay. I think that was the end of the Cambrian.
To grow, plants and insects. Another...
And then we have...
mass extinction event. Dinosaurs.
Great Dying.
Mass extinction event.
PKG.
Birds, fish, reptiles. Mass extinction event.
When?
And another mass extinction event.
When? Wait, what are these other mass extinction events you're talking about? There's been a mass extinction event that killed off birds and reptiles. Or amphibians. Amphibians have been around a long time. They survived most, like us. They survived most of anything that's alive today survived all these extinction events. What is she even talking about? Goodness.
We are told that never in all that time were there ever any more advanced civilizations on the planet than these animals. Then,
True.
100,000 years ago, Homo sapiens showed up.
200,000 years ago? Let's say 200,000 years ago. Probably more like 230, I think. Erica? Is Pete out there? Paleologos? Is it? Anyway.
The pyramids that were built were just tombs?
We don't have the technology to build the pyramids now.
Ancient people had the technology to build the pyramids. Do you think it's a coincidence that all the ancient civilizations all figured out that this geometric shape of piling rocks in a triangle was the least likely to fall down, so it would stand for a long... And yeah, that's another factor of it, that Yeah, there were probably other ancient structures too, but the pyramids are the ones that survive because triangle stacks of stones tend to stick around pretty well indefinitely until something comes along to take them out. Yeah, they tend to just hang around forever and ever. That's why we have them. No matter what civilization it was, if they didn't leave any other structures behind, they at least left some pyramids for us to look at. There's pyramids in they're showing the Egyptian pyramids here, right? There's pyramids in, was it Cambodia? Or Thailand. There are pyramids in North America. There are pyramids in South America. There are pyramids, I think, in Europe. There's pyramids in every continent I can think of except for Africa. Even Europe has some pyramids. Their pyramids are later, though. It's kind of, well, it's not necessarily peculiar because Europeans did come later to there, but their pyramids are a lot later, like in Common Era later, within the last 800 years or so is when the European where the European pyramids are dated. Those are ones from Northern Europe, if you don't know what I'm talking about. They're not fantastic. They're not as well, I shouldn't say they're not fantastic. They're great. They're a marvel of engineering, sure, that it's still around today, but they're like cobblestone pyramids that they have earth terraces built into them and things. Well, some of the other pyramids did too, though. A lot of the Mesoamerican pyramids had earth built into them. The ones in North America, the pyramids in North America are actually like 85% earth. Same cultures that built the mounds built those pyramids. They're kind of boxier, like that, kind of terraced up to the point. But yeah, this is just the best way to stack things to make sure they stay stacked for a long, long time.
Not even close.
And electricity didn't exist in an industrial or residential capacity until the late 19th century.
The arc lamp used in the Lighthouse of Alexandria is further proof that electricity was used in ancient Egypt.
Guys, do we need to talk about the Lighthouse of Alexandria and the electricity?
We're not the most evolved we've ever been.
On Isaac Newton's laws of motion.
What does that even mean, the most evolved we've ever been? Do you guys know what that even means? Well, how can you be most evolved? We're all evolved the same. We've all evolved from this common ancestor at the same time. Maybe not the same rate because, reproductive cycles change throughout evolution. Some species slow down how fast they reproduce. Some speed up. Some have more offspring, some have less offspring, and that dynamic changes as they pass on their genes. Sometimes an ancestor may have had multiple offspring, now the descendants have only one. Those things change. So what does most evolved mean? I don't understand.
Was revered for more than 200 years.
We have put our faith in astronomers, archaeologists, and...
Was that a slam on Newtonian versus Einsteinian physics and that stuff? Because they're both valid still. Newtonian physics works for the most part in any practical format. The fun thing about Einsteinian physics is it just kind of expands on our understanding at a different scale than, so like if you think about it, Newtonian physics works on a human scale, Einsteinian physics works on a universal scale. That's how I always think about it.
Theoretical geologists to reconstruct our history, even though, as Dr. Donald Scott points out in his book The Electric Sky, there are no tangible, usable products from which we can judge the validity of these theories emanating from sciences that deal with events that happened long.
I do need to revisit the Electric Universe too, like Project Thunderbolt and stuff like that. I was getting ready to a few months back, and then Professor Dave, who was amazing. I love Professor Dave, like one of my favorite YouTube channels. So subscribe to that. But he did a series on Project Thunderbolt, so I backed off of it. I wasn't gonna make it out like I was emulating him or trying to copy his content or anything. But I actually had a friend who was an Electric Universe guy. He used to participate a bit in our community too, but now he went back to Facebook. where I met him. He's actually part of the Hive out in Facebook. His name's Nathan. If you see him out there, he's an Electric Universe guy. Maybe I'll have him on sometime and talk to him about it. That's a interesting subject. You guys let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that.
Long ago and far, far away.
We're able to create a two-headed dog with 6 legs.
Professional astronomers judge success by the degree to which other astronomers believe and accept their ideas. They do not produce results which can be physically evaluated.
What? That's not how that works. The Thunderbolt Project. Thank you, Richard Madsen. What is Project Thunderbolt? Yeah, I am interested, and I do think it's a fun theory, especially how they think that craters were created by lightning hit from the sun hitting the moon. A lot of weird stuff like that. The idea is that the sun's more like less like a plasma. Well, I shouldn't say less like a plasma ball, but that it's more like a giant electron. It's weird. Of course, they uncritically show the ancient alien guy. Yeah, he's just a viable resource, a fountain of accurate information. I can't wrap my head around the Electric Universe concept. Maybe it's all this stupid. Yeah, if I do decide to have him on, I might have you on as my co-host, Maya. Either you or Mark, if you'd be interested, of course, to talk to him. I need somebody to. What I want to do is actually be like more like the moderator on the conversation and let somebody else engage with him. But I might try to engage with him myself first. I don't know. We'll see.
Archaeologists dig holes and look at bones and shards and write papers and tell impressive stories about mankind's history. Theoretical geologists tell stories about how continents have shifted and when mountains formed. Both are successful if other archaeologists and geologists accept their hypotheses, and their theories are published in respected scientific.
They're talking about geology. They talk about all this. It's like, oh, we're just confirming. We like it when you confirm what other people say, or what if people affirm your ideas. That's not what it is. People want to dispute your idea, because if they dispute your idea, they get to replace it with their idea. So everything has an idea of how it works, and based on the math and observations and things like that, based on predictability of the model, whatever the system may be, right? And at whatever point someone has said this is the reason and published a paper on it, everybody else who picks up that paper and looks at the research and does the peer review and does the research, looks at the math, checks the predictions, everybody else is looking to prove that person wrong. Because then they get to make their paper suddenly becomes the top author on the charts, and that other person becomes a citation, right? The citation below. So everybody wants to be on the top, the top of that, right? So the competition between people in these fields is actually real. There is actually an idea that you need to be doing. You need to be reviewing other people's work, and you need to be a productive member of the scientific community. You need to be overturning some of the stuff that's already that we think right now. You need to be coming up with new understanding of the way that the world works. To be a productive scientist, you need to be discrediting your peers' work, not giving them an attaboy. Obviously, that's on the professional field. Personal opinions and about other authors' works and things that don't necessarily have to reflect the professional position. You can say, yeah, I think that Richard Dawkins, who they keep showing in this video, is right about these evolutionary points, but I think he's wrong about this and this and that. You can say that. You can sign off on his work. You and Mark should do a show with or without him. I want to see Mark's head explode. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Electric Universe.
Journals like Discover and Scientific American. None of these fields produce any results that can be tested experimentally by the general public.
I usually think, when I think of journals, I think like Nature or PNAS and things like that. I don't think of Scientific America. Is Scientific America a pop magazine? Scientific America. Scientific America is a news magazine. It's not a peer-reviewed journal. I mean, famous scientists have put articles and contributed to Scientific America. It is a publication of articles from scientists, if that's what you mean. But it's not a peer-reviewed journal. And it's not how we don't assess truth from that. Basically, pop sci magazines, and Scientific American is one of the best pop science magazines out there, just because it has so many leaders in their field that actually contribute to it. It's been around for almost 200 years, but it's not. It's more of a secondary part of academia to the peer review process, because things like Scientific America you get to put your paper out there for other people to peer review. The more people who peer review your paper and agree with you and can't find anything wrong with it and sign off on it, the better your paper is. The more power that paper contains to sway other areas of research, right? The more compelling it is. So, yeah, I like National Geographic too, but Scientific America is good. Some of the stuff National Geographic has done in the past I don't approve of. I don't like how they did the stupid micro-raptor thing. They are often cited, National Geographic more than anybody else is cited by young Earth creationists as a source, as what is allegedly our source of truth, and that's just not the case.
Fast forward, and now there are 7 billion of us. And we're told by the same scientists who told us the rest of the story that the 6th mass extinction event is already underway.
Was that the snow, the black snow? Is that what that was? Do you guys remember that? It was 2019 or 2018? 2019 or 2018. These people were using gas lighters and burning snow, and then claiming that something was wrong with it because of the black on the snow, when not understanding that the black was literally the fumes from the gas burning in the lighter. It was the carbon left over. Yeah, there was all kinds of videos on YouTube. Back then it was longer ago than that. Was it 2015 or something like that, Jason? It's been a while ago, but it was like a social media phenomenon where a whole bunch of people were making videos of themselves going out and getting a bowl of snow and burning it with a gas lighter and being like, "Oh, look, it's turning black." You know.
Human and half extraterrestrial. We're hybrids.
We're meant to live in the box they built, never taking the lid off. We are born, we consume, reproduce, and die in there.
By box, she means the Earth that we the only place that we can survive, the only place in the universe that we discovered yet where our species can survive. It's not a box that they're keeping us in. It's just what we're all contained in because we are species on this planet.
No higher purpose or significance.
Nope. No higher purpose or significance except for, I'm going to make everybody hate me here, except for to sustain Gaia. That's all we're here for. If we can keep the organism alive and keep it going, we have succeeded. If the organism dies, we have failed. We are the only species on this planet so far that has the chance of causing Gaia to die, which is really gross. And I hope we don't do it, but we'll see. And again, Gaia is the name of a superorganism, not some supernatural being. I just say it to annoy people. I like that I don't have prescribed higher purpose. I don't think that my existence is prescriptive. I like to make my own way. I know that as a physicalist, I do believe in cause and effect physics. So I do think that that whatever happens in my life is set in motion. But I don't know that. I don't live my life as if that. I live my life as if I'm making decisions as I move along, and I'm able to decide what the meaning and purpose of my existence is on my own, and try to make the most of it. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I struggle to see meaning and purpose in my life. I do. I have moments of nihilistic dread. Because I'm a human. Anybody who says that they don't worry about what happens, or that there hasn't been moments in their life where they look at their place in the vastness of the universe, in the insignificance of our pitiful lifespans, and experience a moment of nihilistic dread. Mine is usually followed up with wonder, though, at how this all orchestrates out. I'd love to, and that's what keeps me going sometimes, is just riding out to see how long my chapter is, what happens in my chapter of this story of life on Earth, and what impact I can have on making it better or worse. I think that that's sometimes the only thing that keeps me going.
Now, what about the Big Bang theory? I find the Big Bang really quite fascinating. I mean, here you have all these highfalutin scientists, and they're
highfalutin
saying that there was this gigantic explosion and everything came.
No, I already explained. No gigantic explosion. No, not unless you consider something that's taken place over billions. Something that's still, because we're still in the explosion, right? It's still expanding. So we're still in the Big Bang for all causes and purposes. It never stopped. The universe is still expanding. So let's start there. Okay, expanding universe, great. We understand a bit about that now. We've got different fields of research that cover these topics, and we understand how this happens. So an explosion, in the sense of an explosion that happens over what is it, 13.8 billion years.
Into perfect order. Now, these are the same scientists who go around touting the second law of thermodynamics, which is entropy, which says that things move toward a state of disorganization. So,
sort of. Entropy, it means entropy means the closest layman's terms I could come up with for it is like stagnation. All right, it's where there's no activity. When it comes to energy, entropy is reached at absolute zero. That's K, right? 0K. So that's entropy right there. And as heat dissipates from any system, it moves towards that point, towards that absolute zero. Now, within a closed system, there can be a closed system will move to entropy. So let's consider the universe itself a closed system. Okay, so the universe overall moving towards entropy, moving towards absolute zero. Entropy is just thermal balance. Thank you, Brian Stevens. Brian Stevens is brilliant, and and you should listen to what he says as well, as well as me. Listen to Brian Stevens and me, and we'll be your sources of truth. That's a big order. Don't listen to me on most things, but you can listen to me on this, because I this is what my physics nerds friends and everything tell me. Do you want to see the Australopithecus? Or not Australopithecus, I guess that's Ardipithecus. Do you all want to see the Ardipithecus video again after this? We can put that on in between. I did an updated version of it with some timelines and stuff. I just want to make it more mine, because it was just my editing of the clips together and then the song. But yeah, always check me. I could be wrong. Yeah, I'm wrong about. I've been wrong about some stuff on this video already, I'm sure. So, and I welcome the critiques. If I'm wrong about anything, please come at me in the side chat. I will correct, I will redact, I will do what I need to do to adjust my point of view. Yeah.
Now you're going to have this big explosion and everything becomes perfectly organized.
We got old Ben Carson talking. Is that Ben Carson? That is Ben Carson, right? Like the guy who ran for president.
And when you ask them about it, they say, well, we can explain this based on probability theory.
So again, I almost forgot where I was going. Okay, so the whole universe can be moving towards entropy, but there can be systems, open systems within this larger closed system that are experiencing negentropy, like our solar system, where there's a source of power that is adding energy to the planetary system within its orbit, right? The sun itself, as part of the greater entropy of the universe, does have a finite amount of energy that it's going to dissipate over billions of years. However, the planets orbiting that star, they're receiving additional energy, so they are not in a state of entropy. Earth and all the other planets in our solar system are not in a state of entropy. They're at some level of negentropy, if they have an atmosphere. I want to specify that too, because if they don't have an atmosphere, it may depend on where they're at in their orbit, whether they're experiencing entropy and negentropy, because certain heavenly bodies without atmosphere, they bleed the energy that they gain faster than they can retain it. So the numbers always jumping all over the place on how much energy they're retaining, depending on where they are. But we have an atmosphere, so we have a little bubble around us that captures the energy from our star, from the sun. And with that in mind, and also very obvious, it's something we can see. We can see how this works, how the greenhouse effect works with catching energy, right? So we know that that's a thing that's happening. So no, the Earth is not experiencing entropy at all. That's why things are able to propagate here. That is why life was able to pop up here. Hey, Sam Jenkins.
Because if there's enough big explosions over a long enough period of time, over billions and billions of years, one of them will be the perfect explosion.
Well, that's just with a model of a cyclic universe, of cyclic universes. You could say that was the model. I don't know if that's the leading model right now, but it's just a matter of our universe having aspects of it, like the sun, that are burning with energy, that are expanding, or that are dissipating energy into a planetary system. Within the planetary system, there's planets with atmosphere. That atmosphere captures the energy into that planet's atmosphere. Therefore, the planet is experiencing negentropy, not entropy. Hopefully I hope that's simple enough to understand. You'll hear a lot of this entropy argument, but this second law of thermodynamics argument, but second law of thermodynamics definitely explains that we should be experiencing negentropy on Earth, not entropy.
And I say, so what you're telling me is if I blow a hurricane through a junkyard enough times, over billions and billions of years, eventually after one of those hurricanes, there'll be a 747 fully loaded and ready to fly.
So sort of, we're talking about what he's talking about. One thing he's talking about biology here, in which case we're talking about like niche vacuums. So the tornado is the extinction event, right? The tornado comes through and wipes everything out. And then life starts to come back. So it's the space between the tornadoes that creates the new life. And at some point, one of those tornadoes came through and it wiped out some giant archosaurs, right? And this allowed these little scampering, warm-blooded mammals to to have a chance to move. So, but after that tornado came through this little junkyard, these little tiny primates were able to start propagating and expanding and their ranges and moving into new niches and becoming more successful. Eventually, these little monkey guys even started to create their own technology, and that escalated so fast, happened so fast, and eventually they started taking aspects of other organisms on the earth and trying to emulate them, like flight. So humans started trying to figure out how to fly. So then they built machines that could fly, and eventually they invented this 747 or whatever that he's talking about here. So this tornado, which the last big tornado, I guess, would be the KPG extinction event, did come through our junkyard. The myriad of life on Earth, it did blast right through that junkyard, wipe everything out, wipe out what was it, like 65% or something like that of life on Earth with the PKG. Where the iridium layer is, right, where we can see on one side and on the other. So that iridium layer represents when the tornado came through. So the tornado came through the junkyard, and then as the organisms started to recover from that, and our little monkey hands started to want to build technology to fly, boom, the tornado in the junkyard did come through, and boom, we have 747s now. So yes, Ben Carson is right here. That is what happened, as long as we understand the metaphor, right? In the metaphor, the tornado is the extinction event, Earth is the junkyard, and the 747 is the result of the tornado coming through, wiping out the organisms that couldn't build 747s, and then letting the organisms that could propagate. I hope that all makes sense, because we are about out of time for Creation Watch today. Let's see what else he's got.
Well, but I mean, it's even more ridiculous than that, because our solar system, not to mention the universe outside of that, is extraordinarily well organized to the point where we can predict 70 years away when a comet is coming. Now,
So that's just physics of the universe, right? Everything in the universe follows physics, the laws of physics. And one of the aspects that's really powerful in it is gravity. So that's how we're able to tell how heavenly bodies are going to react to the other objects in the solar system that we're in. We know how comets are going to rotate. We know how planets are going to rotate, because they're reacting to the gravity of the planets within the system and the sun within the system, and potentially other objects outside of the system that could be acting on them as well, such as Kepler belt items or objects or things like that. So I keep saying items and I mean to say objects. I don't know why. Yeah, but what Mr. Madsen said here, it's not organized. Physics is just very predictable. Thank you for putting it in few words, such few and poignant words while I rant and ramble. All right.
Type of organization to just come out of an explosion? I mean, you want to talk about fairy tales. That is amazing. And really what it boils down to is, where do you want to put your faith? In man or in God? Which one makes more sense?
So, and these ideas aren't mutually exclusive. There's no reason why you can't posit a God of an Earth that is subject to the Big Bang and the laws of physics and evolution and everything like that. There's nothing in any of these theories that say that there can't be a deistic entity, right? You can't falsify that there's a deistic God or whatever that set things in motion. It's just not. It's an unfalsifiable position. But they're not mutually exclusive, like Ben's saying here.
And I constantly say, I'm a person of limited faith. I really don't have enough faith to believe that stuff that they say. I mean, that is really beyond belief in terms of the number of coincidences that have to occur and a number of things.
The name of this stream, by the way, if you haven't caught on to it, was Science Guys Are Lying to You. I guess that includes me, though. Sweet.
violate even their own principles in order for it to work.
And what is the harm in learning the Bible's creation story?
Well, learning the story is fine. I mean, that's great, but it's not science.
Yeah, it's not. Nobody's saying you can't learn the stories from the Bible. I don't think that that's ever been an argument that somebody's presented, that you can't learn the stories from the Bible and believe them as an individual, right? That you can't say, you know what, despite all of this, I believe in the Genesis account. No one's saying you can't be there and do that, but what they're saying is it does not belong in the classroom because it doesn't match up with our current scientific models and should not be included. That's not asking too much. Tell me I'm right. Tell me I'm wrong.
And tax dollars used for science education shouldn't be used to teach creationism as an alternative. Creationism is not right.
The notion of creationism, or in fact, look, Senator Marco Rubio, who's presumably a reasonably intelligent man, was asked what's the age of the Earth, and ultimately, either because he actually believed it, or he was trying to appeal to some constituency, had to argue that it's a big mystery, that somehow we should teach kids both ideas that the Earth is 6,000 years old and that it's 4.55 billion years old, which is what it is. If you think about that, somehow saying that, well, anything goes, we shouldn't offend religious beliefs by requiring kids to know, to understand reality.
These are based points. I'm just going to let this keep going.
That's child abuse.
It sounds very laudable to teach the controversy, to teach both theories, but there aren't two theories. There's only one theory around. There's only one game in town as far as serious science is concerned. Of course, you get negative reactions from creationists, but who cares about creationists? They don't know anything.
I like those. I might just clip that out and just have that as little shorts.
Let there be light. And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And
Got
God
some
called
creation.
the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above.
Okay, hold on. I got a question here. Question on that. If someone were to teach evolution and creation inequality without bias and let students make their own minds, is that a step too far in your view? As long as they're presenting scientific evidence for their position, yeah, that is supported by the models in science, because it's a science class, that's fine. But when those ideas deviate, like this idea here with we got a firmament and things like that over the Earth, those don't comport with reality. So no, we shouldn't be able to teach about firmament in school, because that's not something that scientifically exists. We shouldn't be able to teach about ether either, because for a long time ether was scientific. There was an ether out there that the Earth was drifting through. It was substantive, but it doesn't exist. It doesn't. There's no drag. If there was an ether out there, there'd be drag. So firmament, ether, that kind of stuff, we shouldn't teach in school. No.
And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. And God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so.
There's our flat Earth.
God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven.
So Earth first, and then seas, or Earth and seas, I guess, together. Yeah, his video, this part here is stupid echoey. He's got like a reverb thing on it to make it sound woo.
To divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night.
And the moon is not a light, it just reflects the light of the sun. So, no, it's more, you could call it a mirror. I wouldn't call it a light.
He made the stars also.
And he made the stars also, even though they're just suns, some much, much more prominent and impactful to the ballet that is the spiral of our universe.
And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night.
See, the firmament, set them in the firmament. That's the problem right there, Sam. That's what I was talking about. We can't be teaching kids that there's a firmament when there's not a firmament. Unless you can demonstrate a firmament, show me some scientific evidence of it.
And to divide the light from the darkness.
Because it's something that both the sun and the moon are supposed to exist in. So what is the firmament?
And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day.
Earth is a flat plane because it's super special. Jason Jacoby with Das Dome.
And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens, in the firmament of the heavens, in the firmament of the heavens, in the firmament of the heavens.
Let's do that again. That was pretty cool.
The darkness he called night. The firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so.
And it was so.
And God made two great lights.
Yeah, there's the sun and the
a
moon.
greater light to rule the day, and fear before him all the earth. The world also shall be stable, that it be not moved. The Lord reigneth, he is clothed with majesty. The Lord is clothed with strength, wherewith...
All right, I could keep going on this forever. Like I said, this video is almost 9 hours long, so I just cut out this little piece here just to show you guys. The channel is Celebrate Truth. This video is Science Guys Are Lying to You. This is a Flat Earth channel. And I love when they give the disclaimer here and right under the video. It's always hilarious. But that was that was our creation watch today. It's been a minute since we visited the flat earth phenomena, so a little pinch of that for you today. And I appreciate everybody coming here tonight to watch this with me, and please remember to be kind and take care, and we will see you next time.
A 15-degree-per-hour drift.
Thanks, Bob.
A 15-degree-per-hour drift.
Thanks, Bob.
A 15-degree-per-hour drift.
Thanks, Bob. I couldn't have done it without you.